Expectations have changed. I'm sure the way they're approaching this season has changed. I think the biggest part of DB joining this team is that she's already played for Steph. So I think
in a season already brimming with twists and turns, the WNBA offseason has delivered a narrative that few could have predicted. Over the past few weeks, the free agency period has erupted into what many are calling a full-scale upheaval, and no one seems to feel the shockwaves more deeply than Angel Wilson.
I think that's going to help bridge the gap, because as we go along, we're going to talk about Vegas and Seattle, Atlanta. It's really going to be which
Stephanie
team.
White being the head coach of,
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Was the head coach of Connecticut, now the head.
In a recent interview that quickly became the talk of the league, Wilson, a seasoned veteran known for her frank opinions and razor-sharp insights, ended up stirring the pot with comments that, to some, seemed downright incendiary. What she said, and how it has reverberated across teams and fan bases alike, forms the heart of this sprawling tale. During what was meant to be a straightforward interview, Angel Wilson's remarks were anything but ordinary. As she absorbed the latest developments from free agency, particularly the buzz surrounding the Indiana Fever's unexpected maneuvers.
So, Angel Wilson was interviewed and probably said something that she shouldn't have said.
Wilson's reaction was a mix of shock, dismay, and even what some might call a midlife crisis in professional sports. It was as if the revelation struck her on multiple levels, personally, professionally, and emotionally. For context, the Indiana Fever, once perceived as perennial underdogs barely scraping by in the lower tiers of playoff contention, have now reinvented themselves overnight. They have transformed from a team known for a heartbreaking first-round exit last season into a juggernaut in the eyes of many analysts and fans alike. And at the center of this transformation is a series of moves that have left longtime observers of the league reeling. When Sue Bird, an icon whose opinions are as respected as they are feared, weighed in and dubbed the Fever the winners of free agency.
To Indiana, which I think everyone agrees right now has gone from, a team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. They were built.
And the reaction, as Angel Wilson's heated response revealed, was anything but muted. Sue Bird's declaration wasn't subtle. With an air of both authority and irreverence, she labeled the Fever not only as the beneficiaries of a tumultuous free agency period, but also as genuine championship contenders. Her words carried the weight of experience, backed by a career that has seen its fair share of league shakeups. For many, Bird's assessment felt like a rallying cry for Fever fans, but for Angel Wilson, it sounded more like a personal indictment.
Building all these young pieces, of course, Caitlin Clark, to now an immediate contender with all the moves that they've made. I think Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tosh.
Was Wilson simply overwhelmed by the speed of the changes, or did she see something deeper, something more unsettling about the direction in which the league was heading? Imagine being on the receiving end of such a public pronouncement, the champion's torch being passed, not through a gentle handoff, but via a blazing statement that leaves no doubt about where the future might lie. In that moment, Wilson's visceral reaction was not merely about free agency. It was an emotional response to what she saw as a betrayal of long-standing loyalties and expectations. To truly appreciate the magnitude of the current drama, one must look at Indiana Fever's transformation over the past season. Last year, the Fever were not exactly on everyone's radar. Plagued by early playoff exits and a shaky roster that relied heavily on youthful potential, they were a team in transition. Yet behind the scenes, a calculated strategy was taking shape. The Fever began acquiring seasoned players and key role players that could complement their rising star talent, including the dynamic Caitlin Clark. With each roster move, the team was not only building chemistry, but also constructing a blueprint for success that defied expectations. One name in particular stands out among these strategic acquisitions: Natasha Howard. Her presence on the court has been heralded as a game changer, with many fans and analysts lauding her impact on both ends of the floor.
Time in the WNBA, and she's someone who obviously is a part owner in the Seattle Storm. So hyping up another team is a bit of a conflict of interest if we're being.
For those who have followed her career, it's no secret that Howard has a knack for elevating her team's play. And it wasn't just her on-court performance that made waves. Her decision to join forces with the Fever signaled a shift in the balance of power within the league. While the Fever were busy constructing a contender, things were not looking nearly as rosy for the Las Vegas Aces. Once hailed as a super team, a modern dynasty in the making, The Aces' internal chemistry began to crack under the strain of relentless expectations and mounting roster turbulence. Longtime insiders have noted that what once seemed like a carefully orchestrated plan has devolved into a kind of sports soap opera, complete with infighting, departures, and a sense that the unity which once defined the franchise was slipping away.
Wilson from the Aces, she is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic backup for Kelsey. She is a great addition to this backcourt.
Amid the chaos, one of the most intriguing and perhaps painful developments has been A'ja Wilson's candid commentary about her own locker room. In a moment that many have described as raw and unfiltered, Wilson turned her critical eye inward, suggesting that her teammates had not lived up to the lofty expectations that had been set for them. This self-inflicted wound struck a chord with many observers, not only because it laid bare internal conflicts, but also because it underscored a broader debate about loyalty and ambition in professional sports. Wilson's remarks have sparked intense discussion among fans and pundits alike. On one hand, there is the view that no team can truly succeed without a united front, a locker room where every member is fully committed to a shared goal. On the other, there's an argument that sometimes harsh truths must be aired if a team is to correct its course. For Wilson, the decision to criticize her own teammates was not taken lightly. It was, by her account, a moment of exasperated honesty, a call for accountability when the stakes are as high as they are in the quest for a championship. However, the fallout has been immediate and severe. Teammates who once shared close bonds now find themselves on edge, wondering if loyalty will once again be sacrificed at the altar of individual ambition. In locker rooms across the league, whispers of similar tensions are growing louder. For a franchise like the Aces, once celebrated for its cohesion and camaraderie,
and Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever front office is not messing around. They are putting everything in place to make sure that this year is a championship caliber team, and every addition it gets better and better.
This internal discord is a dangerous sign. The window of opportunity for a quick recovery is rapidly closing, and every misstep is being scrutinized by fans, media, and rival franchises alike. As the drama unfolds in Las Vegas and Indiana, the ripple effects are being felt across the entire WNBA landscape. Rival teams are watching closely, taking notes on every move. The Fever's meteoric rise has not only altered the balance of power in the conference, but has also ignited a fierce debate about the future of the league. Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era in women's basketball, one where underdogs can rise with unprecedented speed?
MAGA Barbie, look, this is gonna be good and bad for the Fever, and this is gonna be good and bad for CC, because if CC,
or is this just a temporary anomaly fueled by free agency fervor? For many, the answer lies in the details. The Fever's moves have been so bold and decisive that they seem to embody a philosophy of go big or go home. Their roster is now a carefully crafted mosaic of emerging talent, seasoned veterans, and strategic role players.
we can't get a ring with the super Avengers that Kathy and the Indiana Fever has assembled, then
Beyond the marquee names like Caitlin Clark, a rising star with the competitive fire of Michael Jordan, and Aaliyah Boston, the Fever have assembled a supporting cast that is equally impressive. Each addition serves a purpose, contributing to a unit that is as tactically flexible as it is mentally resilient. Moreover, the Fever have shown that they are willing to defy conventional wisdom. Rather than playing it safe and relying on incremental improvements, they have opted for transformative moves that have redefined the season's narrative.
What does that mean? Indiana is just being so fucking greedy right now. They took DB, they took Natasha. Now they got Sydney Colson. Why would they take Sydney from us?
This approach has naturally polarized opinion. While Fever supporters celebrate the bold new direction, detractors argue that such rapid changes come with significant risks. Can a team that has undergone such a dramatic overhaul truly gel in time for a deep playoff run? Or will the internal adjustments needed to accommodate so many new voices lead to unforeseen complications on the court? In today's sports world, the opinions of fans, expressed through social media and digital forums, carry as much weight as the opinions of analysts and former players. In the aftermath of these free agency moves, the digital sphere has been ablaze with commentary. Aces loyalists, still smarting from the departure of key figures like Sydney Colson and Natasha Howard, have taken to every platform to voice their anger and disbelief. Their tweets and posts are filled with incredulous questions. How could our beloved franchise allow this to happen? And is this the end of the dynasty we once knew? Conversely, Fever fans are reveling in their newfound status as the league's front-runners. The transformation from perennial underdogs to the team to watch has been nothing short of miraculous. Every headline, every soundbite from free agency week only seems to amplify their excitement.
Free agents next year, there's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Social media hashtags celebrating the Fever's resurgence are trending, and it's not uncommon to see spirited debates about how each new signing is setting the stage for a championship run. The excitement is palpable, and it's infectious. Yet, amid the jubilation, there is also a note of caution. As one observant fan put it on one of the popular forums, if the Fever truly are the new juggernauts, then every move from here on out will be under the microscope.